Welcome back to Venture Vibes. There's a place where smiles are currency, traditions are alive in everyday life, and the rhythm of life feels balanced, not rushed. A place where foreigners arrive expecting a vacation but end up searching for long-term rental contracts. That place is Malaysia. In 2025, we're seeing a rising global trend. Foreigners from the US, UK, Germany, Japan, Australia, and even the UAE are not just visiting Malaysia, they're settling here, building communities, starting businesses, and in many cases, retiring early. But what is it that's pulling them in so deeply? Start with the people. Malaysians are globally known for their warmth, but in 2025, this hospitality has only become more evident. With rising global tensions, economic stress, and political polarization elsewhere, Malaysia feels like an emotional refuge. Whether it's a simple smile from a food vendor or help from a stranger when your GPS fails, there's a sense of humanity here that many parts of the world have forgotten. Foreigners often say, "I came for the food, I stayed for the people." But it's not just the people. Malaysia's lifestyle offers something increasingly rare in the world: balance. In cities like Penang, Ipoh, Johor Bahru, and even the bustling Kuala Lumpur, life moves at a comfortable pace. It's not painfully slow, but it's not stressful either. Work-life balance is valued. The cost of living is low compared to Europe or North America, yet the quality of life is surprisingly high. A foreigner earning remotely in USD or Euro can live like royalty in Malaysia. But more importantly, they live with dignity, peace, and community. In 2025, more foreign digital nomads are applying for the DE Rantan Nomad Pass, a visa that lets them live and work in Malaysia legally for up to a year, with renewals. Government data shows over 12,000 new digital nomads entered Malaysia in the first half of this year alone, up 60% from 2024. They're not just coming for Wi-Fi and cafes. They're staying because Malaysia offers cultural richness without the chaos. Affordable healthcare, safe neighborhoods, and genuine connection. And speaking of healthcare, in 2025, Malaysia ranks among the top 5 countries in the world for medical tourism. Not just for affordability, but for quality. Foreigners from Australia and the US are getting treated for a third of the cost they would pay at home, with shorter waiting times and friendlier care. From cardiology to dental work to cosmetic surgery, everything is world-class but human-centered. Then there's food, but you already knew that. What foreigners didn't expect was how food in Malaysia isn't just a necessity, it's an experience. In 2025, food streets are being upgraded with better hygiene, cleaner facilities, and smart QR-based ordering systems while still keeping their charm. Kuala Lumpur's Jalan Allure is now a case study for urban food tourism, showing how to modernize without losing tradition. Even beyond food, foreigners are surprised by Malaysia's diversity. It's one of the few countries where a mosque, temple, and church stand on the same street, not as a photo opportunity, but as part of daily life. Foreigners often describe it as one of the most culturally respectful places I've seen. In 2025, with Islamophobia and xenophobia growing in the West, Malaysia feels like a breath of fresh air, a country that not only respects multiculturalism but lives it out daily. Another surprising factor: nature. Foreigners talk about how they can work from a beach in Langkawi, take weekend hikes in the Cameron Highlands, explore ancient rainforests in Sarawak, and then fly back to a tech conference in Kuala Lumpur, all within the same country. The rise of ecotourism in 2025 has also attracted a new wave of environmentally conscious travelers. And Malaysia has responded with better infrastructure, cleaner beaches, conservation efforts in Borneo, and national parks using AI tools to track wildlife health. The local economy is another big draw. Despite global instability, Malaysia's ringgit remains fairly stable, and inflation, though present, is still more manageable than in the UK or parts of Europe. Foreigners with savings are investing in small businesses, especially in lifestyle, F&B, and hospitality sectors. In fact, under Malaysia's MM2H program, new amendments in 2025 now allow more foreign retirees to settle with simplified criteria, provided they can show income and intent to contribute to local development. Let's not forget education. Families from India, South Korea, and the Middle East are enrolling their children in Malaysia's international schools, which continue to climb in global rankings. The Cambridge curriculum, IB programs, and even hybrid homeschooling models in Malaysia are attracting attention for being affordable yet high quality. These families speak of a system that supports learning, not pressure, unlike in their home countries. And safety. In 2025, Malaysia remains one of Southeast Asia's safest countries. The Global Peace Index shows Malaysia climbing 4 spots higher this year. Foreigners walk freely at night in places like Kuching and Georgetown, something they're scared to do even in parts of Europe now. Petty crime exists, but violent crime is low, and police-community relations are relatively stable. Now let's talk digital. Malaysia is quietly becoming a tech-savvy nation. 5G is now accessible in almost all urban zones, and even rural states like Kelantan and Terengganu are expanding coverage. Cashless payments are seamless, local stalls accept e-wallets, digital IDs are in use for public services. Foreigners used to clunky systems at home are surprised how smooth and efficient things are here, from getting your mobile SIM to paying bills online. And while the cost of living remains affordable, the lifestyle keeps improving. In 2025, Kuala Lumpur was ranked among the top 10 most livable cities in Asia by the Asia Lifestyle Index. New MRT expansions, better public parks, bike lanes in Penang, and more eco-friendly housing are changing how people live. These changes aren't just infrastructure, they're lifestyle upgrades that foreigners immediately notice. Foreign influencers, vloggers, and digital creators are becoming unofficial ambassadors for Malaysia. YouTube, TikTok, and personal blogs are filled with testimonials. Titles like, "Why I Left New York for Malaysia," "Living in Malaysia Changed My Life," or "Malaysia, the Place I Didn't Know I Needed," are trending. These aren't paid ads. These are real stories of people who felt something in Malaysia they couldn't explain until they experienced it. And perhaps that's the heart of it. Malaysia's way of life can't be understood on paper. You feel it when you're here. You feel it in the morning kopi session at a kapisium. In the quiet respect people show elders. In the multiracial school where kids speak 3 languages before they turn 10. You feel it when the food court auntie remembers your favorite dish. Or when a Grab driver shares his life story like you're an old friend. Foreigners aren't falling in love with Malaysia because it's perfect. They're falling in love because it feels human. It feels like a place where life still has texture, not just technology. Where tradition isn't locked in a museum but walks alongside you. Where you're not just a tourist, you're a guest. And eventually, maybe even, family. In 2025, as the world grows colder, faster, and more disconnected, Malaysia offers something rare: warmth, balance, and a sense of belonging. That's why they're staying. That's why they're building lives here. That's why foreigners are falling in love with Malaysia's way of life.